Have you ever wondered where our country's economy stands as compared to the rest of the world? And especially when it comes to the biggest superpower of the world, the USA. In this video, we're going to talk about how the Indian economy is different to that of the US economy, where Indian economy stands with respect to the US economy, and by the end of the video, we will compare and get to the point as to how the Indian economy or the Indian GDP can surpass the US GDP in the coming years. So watch this entire video. So to begin with, let's talk about the US economy first. Then we will talk about the Indian GDP. Then we will compare both these GDPs, and then we will find out 5 points by which Indian economy can surpass the US economy in the coming years. So to begin with, the US economy bifurcation is as follows. Agriculture contributes around 0.09% of the GDP. Industry contributes around 19.8% to the GDP, and the services sector contributes around 80% to the GDP of the USA. The American economy is the largest economy in the world at around 21 trillion US dollars by 2019, whereas the Indian economy stands at 2.9 trillion US dollars. As we saw, the services sector contributes heavily to the GDP. So the tech giants and the financial sector giants lead the economic activity in the USA. The financial sector contributes to around 20% of the total corporate earnings. The manufacturing sector, on the other hand, has been moving out of USA since the last few years and has been settling in China and Mexico, reducing the industry exposure of the GDP. It imports around 80% of the manufacturing goods from the other countries. The exports fall short of the imports by around 550 billion US dollars, making the current account deficit at around 3.5% of the GDP. Its fiscal deficit also stands close to 3.5 to 3.9% of the GDP. USA holds a lot of private and public debt at around 58 trillion US dollars, which is nearly 3 times of its GDP. Now, because of this huge public and private debt, the economic activity in the US has slowed down considerably since the last 25 years. With the GDP growing per year at around 2.3% and the government bond yields standing at around 2.7%, this is a low interest rate outlook and a low inflation outlook going on in the USA. So we can project a GDP growth of around 3% from here on. Now, after the US GDP statistics, let's throw some light on our nation's GDP. So talking about the bifurcation of the Indian GDP, the contribution of agriculture stands at around 17 to 18%, which in the case of USA was just 0.09%. The contribution of industry in the Indian GDP stands at around 29%, whereas the same in the case of USA stands at around 19%. The contribution of services in the Indian GDP is around 50%, whereas the same in the case of USA was 80%. So from this, we get an idea that the Indian GDP is more diversified and is more balanced, giving equal weightage to almost all sectors of the economy, unlike the US economy, which is heavily dependent on services. So the contribution of agriculture in the Indian economy is slowly on the decline, whereas the services sector is picking up. Talking about the exports, India exports majorly refined crude, agricultural goods, manufactured goods, and precious stones. Nearly 1/3 of the imports of India contribute to oil, gas, and coal, whereas the other imports include defense equipments. The current account deficit stands at 105 billion US dollars, which is around 4.1% of the GDP, and the same in the case of US was $500 billion, which is around 3.5% of their GDP. The fiscal deficit is around 5% of the GDP, whereas India is a developing nation with the interest rates around 4%, and the GDP growth before the pandemic was around 8%. The per capita income of USA is around 35 times to that of India, whereas if you compare it with the purchasing power parity parameters, then it comes to 10 times to that of India. So even if by the way of the purchasing power parity, the gap is narrowed down, but still there is a huge difference between the livelihood of any American and an Indian, and the living standards of America are way ahead to that of India. In the UNDP, that is the United Nations Development Program, countries are ranked according to an indicator called as the HDI, that is the Human Development Indicator. Now, this indicator comprises of various inputs like the per capita income, the educational attainment in a country, the life expectancy in a country, and this index gives you a socio-economic indicator. So it can be an alternative to any other socio-economic indicator. Now, in 2019, India ranked 129th amongst the 189 countries which were analyzed by way of this HDI indicator by the United Nations. The HDI score of India, which is at around 0.609, is well below the average if you compare it with the other countries' HDI. It is marginally ahead of the South Asian countries, wherein the average HDI is at 0.607. Now, as far as the FDI is concerned, the flow of FDIs remain concentrated, and China, Brazil and India account for more than half of the FDI inflows. In 2019, the FDI inflow of India was around $51 billion, and the same in the case of USA and China is at around 4 times and 9 times respectively as compared to that of India. So here we see that there is a huge difference if you compare the Indian economy with that of the US, or if you compare it with most of the other developed nations of the world. But then there are ways out, and how we can find out our economic solution so that we can surpass these economic giants of the world. Maybe it will require a lot many years, maybe 15, 20 or even 50 years, but then if we start early, we can reach that stage wherein we can surpass the biggest economies of the world. And now we will discuss 5 points by way of which Indian economy can surpass the US economy in the coming years. The first point is agriculture. Now, agriculture contributes just 17% to the Indian economy, whereas earlier it used to be more than 50% in the 90s. So you can imagine at what drastic rate the fall has come in the agriculture sector. If this continues for long, then India will have to depend hugely on other countries, on the imports to satisfy the agricultural needs of Indian people. This will be at a very alarming rate, and hence Indian economy can slump down even at a faster rate. Hence, agriculture needs to be protected, and youth need to be participating more into agriculture, and hence contribution of agriculture in the GDP of India should increase. That is the first point. The second point is creating jobs in the IT sector. Now, India is considered as one of the finest countries basically because of the fluency of English that most of the Indians have, because of which the working capacity of the Indians in various MNCs increases, so the employability increases in other terms. Now, if the government attracts more IT companies into India and creates employment for the Indian IT professionals, so if the Indian government attracts more such IT companies and such MNCs into India, the employment rate of the Indian youth will increase and all their skills will be put into effective use. So this is point number 2. Point number 3 is working on skills and improving the education system of India. If you compare our situation to that of China, the number of skilled workers present over there who are specialized into their skills is way ahead to that of India. The Indian education system is more into academic solutions rather than focusing more on the skill sets of the students. Hence, we need to go into the core of our Indian education system and work on it so that more and more skilled professionals are produced, because of which the Indian manufacturing sector and the industrial contribution to the Indian GDP will increase, and hence the Indian economy on the whole will increase. So we need to work on the skill sets of the employees so that their employability rates is increased. Now the fourth and the most important point is of corruption and bribery present at various levels in Indian institutions. According to a statistics by the World Bank, India has lost around $1 trillion to activities like bribery and corruption. Now this needs to improve, because all such important issues which we discussed earlier in point 1, 2 and 3 are fading away into insignificance just because of this point of corruption and bribery. So if Indian economic situation needs to improve, we need to save all that money so that it is put into effective use and which can improve the economy rather than throwing it back down the lane. And point number 5 is hoarding of educational degrees. We need to stop that. Currently, we see that medical and engineering has been the choice of most of the students who pass out their 12th, and though it is on the decline slowly, but we need to stop hoarding of certain degrees wherein most of the students, so nearly 70% of Indian students opt for either medical or engineering, whereas so many other fields, so many other professions lack effective skill sets, because of which India is not growing equally in all other sectors if you compare it with the medical or the engineering sector. So here we saw what exactly we need to do if we have to surpass the biggest supergiants of the world in the coming years, and what streamlined efforts our youth need to take so that this feat is accomplished very soon in the coming years. Currently, we are way behind USA and China and various other developed nations of the world, but with slow efforts, we can definitely get there. So if you've liked this video, please share it with your friends. Also like the video, subscribe the channel, enable the bell icon. Thank you for watching and giving your